Good morning, everyone. Nice to have you all visiting with me this morning. I'm going to do something different than crochet today. I've talked to you about loom knitting and things like that. And one of these days, I'll pull out my large loom and we will go through that process. That's a lot of fun, and it's a lot easier sometimes to weave with a big piece of wood in your hand than a small stick in your hand. But today I want to show you the loom knitting process. And this is easy also. And what I like about it is you can start it in different sizes. This is next to the smallest in the set I have right now, as you can see. And if you'll notice, I have done a slip knot on this end to start the process so I can weave. This holds it in place, that keeps it where I need it for when I'm ready to finish this weaving, the knitting, done with this one. Now, what I like also is that I get to choose, excuse me, I'm gonna have to make this a little higher. I've noticed it's not doing really well on my table at this height. So let me see if I can get everything out of here. And if I can get something under here that's heavier and thicker, this will work. Woo! I'm just knocking everything over. Sorry. But this is real life, real time. So I don't take time to redo or reshoot. I'm just going to go for it. How about that? That's how life is, isn't it? You don't get to reshoot and redo and hope for the best the second time. You just get to do. And as I begin the weaving on this, I will show you that we're going to go counterclockwise with this yarn. We're going to go behind the peg, wrap it around. Oops, I took the wrong piece of yarn. I can't see that side from my vantage point. Let's take the long piece of yarn and go around behind it and back around, behind it and back around, behind it and back around. And then this is what it will be. You will have, this is your first row of your loom knitting. And the thing is, it's so easy to wrap this. And it's kind of like, well, like I was saying a minute ago, life isn't something you get to do over again every time you want to. And here I go around, and I'm just hoping that as I go that I don't skip a peg, I don't mess something up, that I know where the end will be and how we'll start. It sounds like I've got company coming. My dogs are informing me there's someone out in my yard, probably my son getting ready to go to work. But I'm still wrapping this yarn, just like my life's gone. Just keep wrapping, keep going, keep trying to create a design. Oh, and then something goes wrong and the yarn falls off. And you stop and you take a breath. And you say, well, I don't have a second row, so I can't hold this on. I've got to go farther because I'm not ready to finish the project. So I'll keep winding. I'll go back on and start again. And you'll get all the way around. All the way around. And you'll find that you're still dropping pegs and you're still having a hard time guiding it. And this is life. So you pray again and you say, oh, Lord, please help me with this. So you start your next round, and you start over again. And with God's grace, we do get to start over again. And sometimes when life is really hard, like it is with our illnesses and our frustrations in life, because we aren't doing what we thought we would be able to do with our lives, and we're frustrated with how it hurts and how frustrated we are with how, it takes too much time away from the things we love because of the pain and the tired, the fatigue is beyond belief. The depression sometimes enters in so deeply that you have to stop. And you have to take a breath. And you try to wrap a little bit more. And you take another breath. and things get out of focus. Doesn't look like I expected. Most life is this way. We're not the ones that know everything about everything in our world. And we can either go on, try again when it falls, stop, and never finish who we are, or what we are, or where we're supposed to be. You see, I could have stopped 6 years ago, and I almost did. I almost stopped one other time earlier in my life when my heart was broken, and I was so sad. But my mother hugged me. Hush, dog, there's nobody here. Quit. Daisy, Buster, stop now. And here we are, the interruptions of life, interruptions of animals. But I'm sitting here and I'm bound and determined. I'm going to take this peg and I'm going to scoop that piece up and I'm going to go over the top of that peg with it and I'm going to start my first weave, my first knitting stitches. I'm going to knit this thing. I'm bound and determined my life's not over. I'm bound and determined that people who have hurt us in different ways, it aren't going to get the better. There's forgiveness. There's hope. I want to get this one, I hope, and start again. And I'm going to get this one, and I'm going to start again and again and again. I'm going to take every step that I have to take as I do this loom knitting, because all it is like life. We begin at one point, and we have all the dreams, and moms and dads are so excited because we're just these little kids, and everything is just going to be just great. They know the hardship of life, but they want everything better for us. And we get along, and before we know it, something happens. And we're going, man, that's not what I hoped. And our parents are saying, well, that's not what I hoped for you either. And then we go on another step, and we watch friends fall, families come apart. We watch people with broken hearts, and we hug and we say, oh, we're so sorry. I'll remember you. And then the reality is, here we are. Now, how are we going to finish this? Are we going to stop, or are we going to go on? Are we going to continue to weave our life one peg at a time, one spot, one incident at a time, so that when we're done with many, many years and many, many days, we'll have a project finished? Out of the last one I did, I made a monkey. I think I showed a picture of that before to all of you. It wasn't very pretty. Yeah, it's kind of weird. The head kind of falls and everything else. But my grandkids saw it and they said, wow, Grandma, you made an animal. Okay, so I keep on. I keep on. I hurt. I get frustrated with the way things have turned out for me. But I also know that there was a plan for me. Where it goes, I don't know. How it ends, I just don't know it yet. But like my parents, I'm going to keep going. My dad kept going, taking care of my mom with her Parkinson's disease. And I watched the funny lady that I knew that loved everybody and could laugh at everything slowly disappear. And I watched my dad as he reached out, knowing what was happening to her, and loved her every day. no matter how she became, no matter what she said, no matter what she couldn't do. He was there. So he kept weaving their life. He kept making something happen in their life. He kept preaching and teaching and loving and taking care of her till her last. And then God had a new plan for him. It was amazing. He met his high school sweetheart. Her life had been hard. She'd had cancer. She was blind in one eye. She was living with her 100-year-old dad. She had taken care of her parents. She was living only in the kitchen because she couldn't afford to heat the whole house. So her dad slept and sat and ate in a recliner, and she slept on the floor. Winter and summer. She cooked for him. She did everything she could. My dad visited him on his 100th birthday. And it was like, he said, like it was a great reunion. And when he was gone, he kept visiting her. And she became my stepmom. A great lady, an amazing lady, a lady who laughed through really hard times. And when she left my dad, 2 years after they'd been married, it broke his heart again. But you know, he never quit. He continued to do what he was called to do. He kept weaving and pushing those strings around, and he kept saying to himself, it's not over, it's not over, it's not over. Until God calls me home, it is not over. He said, I'll weave one more stitch. I'll pick it up and I'll put it over the pegs, even though it's hard. I'll cry and I'll love some more, and it will be okay. With these knitting looms, it's very simple to create a project because all you do, as you've seen, you just go around twice, take the bottom loop with the hook that they send with these, and you lift the bottom loop over the top of the peg, and you have started your weaving. And when you finish, it's very pretty. This yarn is a little loose for this, but that's okay. It makes it easier for me. My hands don't hurt as badly when I do this because I'm learning something different. If you've never done any loom knitting, trust me, it's fun. And there are different stitches for loom knitting. There is the knit stitch, which I am doing, taking it from the bottom and lifting it over. And then there's the purl stitch, where you go inside the top loop and you bring the other one up and you slip the top loop off with your fingers. Yes, with your fingers. And you put the bottom loop back on the hook. It's just a different way of doing. And you've done a different stitch. These are fun. They come in different sizes. They work well with most yarns. The smaller ones are a blast because you can make little tiny heads of animals. You can create dolls. You can make hats. This one would make a hat. Some of the larger ones, like some of these in this bag, would make great big projects. And they're all done the same way. You can learn online and on a YouTube channel from people who do that all the time, and they teach it. And I watched one lady make dolls and dolls and dolls, and it was amazing. It was exciting. Life can be, as we know, hard. But as I told you when I first started this channel, I survived polio from the age of 6 months on in my life. It's left weird things with my body and my weaknesses, but only person that knows how to see it is my younger brother Joe, and he's told me before, he knew when we were performing and doing different things, that he could tell when my right side was getting weak and I was having trouble standing. I don't know that it's trouble, but he could tell. And I laughed about it because nobody knew. I wore weird shoes for the first couple years of school. And then I got to go in regular shoes. Yes. They didn't have the taps on them, so you couldn't wear out this or you couldn't wear out that. And I had to have special hard shoes made a special way. Awful. But hey, I'm alive. I am well considering. I know what RA can do. I know what fibromyalgia does because this is my second big bout with this. But hey, I'm crocheting every day. I'm doing projects every day because I'm going to survive this. I'm not going to let this take me to the floor and let me stay there. It has taken a lot of things away from me, but it's not going to get the best of me. There's still more to Cheryl. There's still more years than what I have. And it's fun. It can be great. I wore the wig yesterday. My son came in before my husband got home and looked at it. And he came in and I said, well, what do you think? And he said, you look younger. That's great, Mom. You look younger. And I thought, oh boy, if I look younger in this is bad. But he thought it was great. Granddaughter loved it. She smiled. This time she thought it was pretty. My oldest one didn't even notice until I said, do you notice anything different with Grandma? You have a wig on. She wasn't sure if it was a wig at first because she thought I dyed my hair. That's why she didn't say anything, because they know that when I get tired of being tired, when I get tired of hurting, I pretend I'm well and I do what I want. I mopped part of my floor today, like to have hurt me beyond. I have done laundry and stripped our bed to do sheets and pillowcases. But I'm bound and determined I'm going to do it. This is my day to do it. No one else can do it. So I'm going to get it done. And with the Almighty on my side, I know I can. I know you can. Find a reason to laugh today. Like I said, if you have to laugh at me, go ahead. People have laughed at me before. When I was performing or square dancing one time with a group of teenagers, and a guy from another state came to dance, and he asked me to dance and got out there, and my slip popped and came off on the floor. Well, I had to just kick it over off the floor and keep on going. I was so embarrassed that but the waistband had been put on a little wrong, and what we used was safety pins, didn't hold it, and it was embarrassing. But a friend of my mom's grabbed it up off the floor when the dance was done, took me to the bathroom, and we put it back on and fixed it, and it didn't come off again. So I know what it is to be embarrassed. I know what it is to be laughed at. That's okay. Hey, I've been laughed at before. I've been treated like I'm less than because I'm a woman. I get that too. You younger ladies, I hope and pray, don't have to go through that as much as people my age did. But I love doing things that talk to you. I like to know that in some way today I've made you laugh. In some way I made you understand today that you're not alone. Definitely not alone. And like I told you at the beginning, whether you believe in God or not, for me, I do. But you don't have to. Believe in yourself. Believe in something beyond the pain and the depression and the anxiety and the passing out. I mean, it's unreal the things that happen to our bodies when we have autoimmune disorders, when we have things that people don't see because it isn't visible, and they don't understand because it isn't visible. But you know something? You are worth more than you will ever know. You are valued by many people. People who know you really well, people who meet you and you're a stranger to, and you smile and say, hi. Let me tell you, every day can be decent when it comes to the pain. Not pain-free, even though I do use a lot of homeopathic medications. They do work because now we can't take anything for the pain. But it's the other things. It's sitting at home when you're too tired to go and grocery shop because you can't even stand to go push a cart. It's hard when you would like to get up on a Sunday morning and go to church, and you can't because you can't sit there 5 minutes, let alone 45 minutes to an hour. And I love worship services. I love the music. I love the singing. I love the prayers. I love hearing what people say about the scriptures. It's part of who I am. It's part of who I've always been. And I miss it. But on Sundays, if we don't have grandkids, Larry and I are quiet and still and thankful that we have what we have. I hope you're thankful today that you're still breathing. We've lost so many people this year. So many hearts have been broken over unexpected deaths and terrible tragedies, and I just hurt for all of them, and one of them I knew. And it's been very difficult for my family, for my daughter-in-law, who knew her as her best friend. But she kept going because that's what her best friend would have wanted. It's not about what someone else really wants, but it's about what you think someone else wants from you. I at one time said to everybody, you don't need me, I'm not worth it, I'm gone. I got in a car and drove away. Went a half mile down the road, turned around, went to the graveyard where my parents are buried, stood over their grave and prayed, and came home. Because I may not feel like someone, but to them I'm someone. To God, I'm more than someone. I'm a person that He allowed to be created. He designed me to do what I do, to go through the things I've gone through, to understand suffering and pain, and to be embarrassed and shame and broken heart and all the things that go with life for most of us. And I've survived, and so will you. This is the day that the Lord has made, that the God Almighty has given us. If you can't rejoice, say tomorrow. And smile for a moment. Open your heart and your mind to something today that makes you feel worth it. Because you are. You are so valued for so many people and for so many reasons that you may not be aware of. Next week, or tomorrow, I hope on Valentine's Day to show you some things that I have finished, I hope, in crochet and things like that. And I want to be able to come on and wish you a happy Valentine's Day because my grandkids are already doing that for us, and it's lots of fun. And I just hope that today, wherever you are, if you're in the freezing cold and snow like my son is in Chicago, stay warm, stay safe. Liam, I know you and your mom are probably where it's cold too. Just be safe, honey. Stay covered up. To all my family and dear friends on the West Coast, I pray that you guys will have no more flooding. I saw the pictures. It's scary. Know that you're loved. Know that those of you that I have not seen in years, you're missed. To those who were dear friends who've lost loved ones, I'm sorry for you, and I will pray that you will have better times. I miss the memory, but I know that God had a plan for all of us, and this is part of mine. So here we are. I'm going to tell you that you're amazing. You can do anything you want because you know what you can still do. You can smile even though you don't want to. And you can laugh at the crazy lady right here. That's fine. Again, just have a great day. Rejoice a little bit, sing a little bit. I am crocheting and watching the Vicar of Dibley on Britcom. I love it. It's funny. It's silly. She's a lady vicar, and it's so good. And so I found a way to laugh today. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I ask that you subscribe. Ask other people to subscribe and to watch. Please. Know this is about you. That's why I'm doing this. So have a great day. Enjoy what day it is today. And we'll talk about tomorrow. Bye now.